Good afternoon, folks. And today, we're going to talk about pretty much, sports things. Things that have to do with sports. Now, what has this got to do with sports? This is the history of the Ohio Capital Conference. When it began, and when teams finally entered it, and when teams exited it, and everything else. Now, it's a very interesting league. It's called the OCC. Now, it's a very different kind of league, considering you got... These were the first teams... It was founded in 1966, is when it first began. And these teams started it. Delaware, in 1968, these teams began. Delaware Hayes, Gahanna Lincoln, Mount Vernon, Pleasant View, Reynoldsburg, Westerville South, Whitehall Yearling, Thomas Worthington, and Thomas Worthington. Now, some of these teams left afterwards, after a few years, because obviously money played a role in it. Others just closed. Pleasant View, one of them. 1970, Pleasant View shut down and turned into Westland High School. Pleasant View then was just a junior high. And there is where we have our other team. And these are otherwise. Now, Whitehall Yearling started in 1968 to 2001. Then in 2001, they went to the Buckeye Athletic Conference until 2003. In 2003, they went to the Mid-State League and have been there since. So, they've been there for a decent length of time. Now we look at other games. We got... Then there's some other games on here. And some future teams. Then we go down the list here. Mount Vernon also left the league. Well, Mount Vernon also left the league for another OCC league, but it's not the Ohio Capital Conference. They left in 2016 for the Ohio Cardinal Conference. Kind of weird, isn't it? Now, then in 1974, Groveport Madison entered the conference. Then and so did Hilliard Davidson. Well, at the time they were only known as Hilliard, but things changed obviously later on. Now, and we'll get to that later on. Now, Chillicothe High School was entered the league in 76, a couple years later in 1976, until 2006 when they left for the Southeastern Ohio Athletic League. They were in that league from 2006 to 2013. Then they jumped into the South Central League from 2013 to 2016. Then in 2017 they jumped into the Frontier Athletic Conference. So, they kind of jumped around. Then in 77, actually they were only known as Westerville. Westerville South was only known as Westerville in 68. Then the two split in 77 when Westerville and North became known. That's how they all became. Then Franklin Heights, then in 1981, Franklin Heights became a thing. And of course there was multiple OCC groups, but they weren't easy. Then Upper Arlington. Then there was Upper Arlington. Then these teams entered in 1981. Franklin Heights, Grove City, Pickerington, Upper Arlington, and Dublin. Well, they were known as... Then... Actually, Upper Arlington, Dublin didn't enter until 10 years later, in 91. Then Dublin entered. And there's a little story behind that a little later when I come to Scioto. Then 91, Dublin enters. Marysville. Then Watkins Memorial enters in 91 to 2013. Then they secede from the league in 2013 to the Licking County League. Then the Worthington Kilbourne enters in 91. They were only known as Worthington then, though. They become, and they're still there. Then another Dublin is formed, called Dublin Scioto, which then turns Dublin High School into Dublin Kaufman High School. Just like Westerville South, which was only known as Westerville then, when Westerville North was created. So now, and remember Pickerington very closely. Then, that was 95. Newark was seceded in 95. Then 97, Big Walnut. Then Hilliard Darby was made in 97. And that's where Hilliard Davidson is created. Then Lancaster, which is my alma mater, in 97. And same with Olentangy, also enters the OCC. Then in 2002, the newest high school of them all, Central Crossing, enters. Then another Dublin high school comes in the picture, Dublin Jerome. Then another Olentangy school, Olentangy Liberty. This is in 04. These Olentangy Liberty, then Pickerington North, which creates Pickerington, the current Pickerington, a Pickerington Central High School, the one that came in 81. Then Westville Central is created in 04, which separates South and North even more. Then New Albany High School is created in 06. Is created. Olentangy Orange in 2000 is created in 2008 as a new one. Then so is Hilliard Bradley in 2009. Now, Cal Winchester, which is in 2013, is in, and so is Olentangy Liberty. Now, Logan, on the other hand, was in the, from 2025 to 2016, they were in the Ohio High School Athletic League. They've been independent since 2016. In 2024, they'll enter. In 1984 to 2024, Taze Valley was in the Mid-State League. And they'll also be entering the OCC in 2024. Olentangy Berlin entered the league in 2018. So, some fairly new schools and 2 future new schools will be in the league. So how many schools are currently in the league right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 32 for now, but 34 to be, because you have these other 2 on. I mean, when Taste Valley and Logan enter in the picture, it'll say a lot. I mean, these schools are a significant school. I will talk about that a little later on down the road. Well, with that being said, hit the like bell, hit the button for notifications, and like, subscribe. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.